Hi everyone, it's Christopher, Mono County Library Director and co-host of the Oxygen Starved podcast, and I'm back with another Book Talk Friday, meaning two great library books to tell you about, one old and one new, and I'm going to start with the new. Below the Edge of Darkness, a memoir of exploring light and life in the deep sea by Dr. Edith Witter. Now, I'm loving this book so much, I'm telling you about it before I've even done reading it. It's my bookmark. Witter is a marine scientist and founder of the Ocean Research and Conservation Association and has spent her career exploring and being fascinated by bioluminescence, or light created by living things. Perhaps the most common example of this for you and I is the firefly, right? Which lights up at that magical time at dusk. But in the ocean, one finds bioluminescent creatures that come in an astounding variety of shapes and sizes and at all depths, often surfacing at night to feed in shallower waters, only to go deep again as the sun rises, in what she describes as the greatest mass migration on the planet each day. Now, Witter points out that so much of the world's ocean is unexplored and not well understood. When she first started deep diving in the 80s off California, it was thought the deep would be mostly impenetrable darkness with not much in it. But to her amazement, what she discovered instead is what she describes as a fireworks show underwater. She went on to become the pioneer in the exploration of bioluminescence in sea creatures, from tiny invertebrates to jellyfish to the giant squid. And she's a great writer on top of it. She catches you at the beginning with a heart-stopping account of going deep in a single-person submersible, only to discover that that noise she started to hear was in fact a leak she could not fix on her own. I won't give away the ending to that. She then recounts a back injury that she had back as a teenager that dominoed into a more serious medical issue and left her temporarily blind, and how vision works and how hers came back, but she brought out of that a fascination with light and darkness, and that prepped her perfectly for her line of work. Now, what comes out of this book for me, apart from just the fascinating descriptions of discovering new bioluminescent sea creatures, is Witter's own joy and utter fascination with her topic. She never ceases to be amazed, and she wraps that amazement around you so you, the reader, experience it too. Oh, and did I mention she was the first person to capture that elusive deep sea monster of fables, the giant squid, on camera. Just another achievement in this thoroughly enjoyable memoir. Now, for the old, I've chosen another title that explores things beneath us, only this time on or inside dry land. Underland, A Deep Time Journey by popular author Robert Macfarlane. This came out about 2.5 years ago, so it's not that old, but it's a fascinating exploration of caves, mines, sinkholes, underground rivers, the inside of a glacier, the eerie catacombs of Paris, that spot in Finland where nuclear waste is being stored until it reaches its safe half-life millions of years from now. Not just the natural aspects of these features, but how mankind has used them and interacted with them over the years. In fact, he opens the book far back in time in Norwegian caves in which a figure places a red ochre handprint on the walls. Next, a young mother and child are being laid to rest in a Bronze Age burial chamber. Next, a pre-Roman metalworker depicting the evil Minotaur's underground maze, and so on up through Egypt and Africa and mining to the present day with the rescue of those 13 boys and their football coach from a water-filled cave a few years ago. Macfarlane uses this opening to kick off the book, saying, "Into the underland we have long placed that which we fear and wish to lose, and that which we love and wish to save." Now, Macfarlane explores in person these often dangerous places so claustrophobic people like me don't have to. Consider his exploration of an ancient burial chamber in the south of England, which is reached by contorting the body through a series of crevices and spaces between rocks and boulders, with the aid of what's called an Ariadne's thread, a length of rope that is left there as a guide. One wrong move and a slip of the foot could cause the crevices to shift like a rock slide, and you'd be trapped inside forever. It's edge of your seat reading. He also visits a salt and potash mine in Yorkshire that, with 600 miles of tunnels, is so large it extends underneath the North Sea, and you need trucks to drive around and navigate it. His explorations of the catacombs underneath Paris, which were famously used to house the dead, is both fascinating and spine-tingling at the same time. He doesn't shy away from recounting how cave explorers have died exploring the world beneath us, including one unfortunate fellow who got wedged in a crevice and died even though rescuers were on hand trying to free him. In the end, they poured cement around his body, sealing him in that crevice forever. Of course, this is McFarlane. He weaves in and ponders the writers and myths that inform our cultural understanding of the Underland. That Orpheus myth of Hades, up to H.G. Wells, up to Cormac McCarthy, and how we have used and impacted the underground over the millennia. From those ancient cave paintings in Norway to modern waste plastic, creating a new type of rock that will in future centuries be used to mark our spot in the strata of the soil beneath us. The New York Times said this is an excellent book, fearless and subtle, empathic and strange. It is a product of real attention and tongue and groove workmanship. And I agree. This is Underland by Robert McFarlane. This is Below the Edge of Darkness by Edith Witters. Both are excellent, excellent books. Come and find them or find another adventure book to read. In the meantime, stay safe and happy reading.